There were guys who were there for football first, academics second. There were guys there for academics first, football second. There were guys that, such as myself, and early on, it kind of went up and down. Sometimes academics was more important than football. Sometimes football was more important than academics. Sometimes my social life was more important than both.
Right.
So it's it's a balance, man. It really is a balance. You have to understand what's important for that time, and you have to tie it all back to your goals. Like, it took me a while to understand every decision you make, everything you do, does it contribute to your ultimate goal? And if it's not, it's hindering you. And that's as easy as it's put. But to answer your question, all the guys who went to the NFL or wanted to go to the NFL, no, academics wasn't always important to them. And I'll be honest and stay here with you and say academics wasn't always important to me. Hence, I was on academic probation my first year. But then I learned how to balance it all. And I've learned that, yeah, you can be an athlete and still have fun. You can still go out to the party and still good grades. You can still hang out and be safe. I mean, you can enjoy college. You can enjoy life. But you have to understand how to balance it.
And you can be the athlete.
Yes.
I mean, you can be the academic that has a good time.
Exactly.
Because there's a whole lot of them in that stadium, right?
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're basically, you're saying you had different circles of groups that you hung around for whatever was needed.
More or less. Yeah.
So you got a set of elite athletes. You guys are doing your thing and focused. You got a set of elite students. You guys are focused on what's going on. Might even be a different study group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's basically what I tell a lot of the surrogates. Go network.
Yes.
Would you say? Okay.
So. Yes, sir.
All right. So now spiral forward, now you we're going to quickly go into that. Now you're in that star stage. One of the last questions I want to ask is, okay, I'm encountering a lot of athletes that can get there. Okay, and I'm not talking about the NFL at that, that stage, next level. Staying at a level once you once you arrived where you knew you were a good player at Virginia Tech, how did you navigate and stay that you got the academics, you figured that game out, and now you were figuring out the game of football to keep excelling? How did you stay at that level, one, without getting a big head, and at the same time keep improving?
I think you hit it on the head. Staying humble, just working hard. I believe. Let's see, my 5 years at Tech. Of course, accounting your first year as a redshirt. I stayed every summer at Tech. I went home for one half session of summer, my first summer at Tech. Other than that, I was at Tech probably year round. I may have been home
really a
month out the year at the most.
Mm-hmm.
One, because I knew it was important to me. Two, I've learned quickly again, just going back to just talking to the older guys while I was there, coming in, like, what did you do to stay ahead? It's hard to balance academics and football. How did you do it? And they said, you know what? We stay here all summer. We take extra classes in the summer. We take classes that, hey, I failed classes before during the semester. They say, well, we'll make it up in the summertime. It was like use all that time to your benefit. So I was at school making up classes, taking extra classes, getting ahead, and working out, staying in shape. The one thing I learned staying there in the summertime, the guys I were around at that time, those are the guys that took it serious. Because the guys who didn't take it serious, they were home. And all the guys, there was a group of us, all the guys that stayed there and did the things no one else wanted to do. I learned a lot just being around those guys, their work ethic, what it takes to, I was fortunate to be big, but I wasn't the strongest. I wasn't the fastest. I wasn't the smartest, but I knew I could make it up by working hard. Always. And that paid off for me. It helped me make up where I lacked in certain areas.
Okay. So now you're what's it like? Okay, there you are. I ended up having to go free agent. So what was that feeling? Okay, you're waiting for the draft. Share that moment, share that experience, share how you felt, as far as your mama.
Oh yeah.
And your stepdad, What was the moments building up to that experience, and then boom, then the experience happened. So give me that whole story.
Man, emotional roller coaster. Paying attention to all the pre-draft hype. On certain boards, I was ranked to get drafted higher or lower, and kind of reading to all that stuff. So first day of draft, I'm expecting, okay, yeah, I'm getting drafted first day. Of course.
Right.
And come the end of the first day, I didn't get drafted, so it kind of had me down a little bit. I mean, you're just excited. You want to get drafted. This is kind of something I've dreamed about my whole life, and you just want to do your best. So first day I was a little upset. Second day came, and I was like, okay, I'm getting drafted early. Second day, and again, this is me not having any realistic understanding of linemen. For one, don't get drafted high a lot anyway. There only a small select handful of linemen that really go the first day. So I'm sitting around. At this point, I'm at home with mom and dad. We're going as the rounds go. 5 goes, 6 goes, and then I'm like, man, am I gonna get drafted? So 7th round pops up. At the beginning of the 7th round, I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm like, oh man, I'm not getting drafted. I thought I was gonna get drafted. What am I gonna do now? And all this wild stuff running through your head. And I get a phone call, and it's the Romeo Crennel from the Browns asking me, did I want to be a Brown? And of course, I'm like, yes. Excited, happy,
right?
Every emotion you can think of. And then about a minute after we hang up, it announces on the TV then at that point. And it's just excitement, man. Just being there with my mom and dad while it happened was probably one of the highlights of my life outside of graduating from college and getting my degree. Probably one of the happiest moments of my life, more or less, because you always want to see mom happy, and I know how much it meant to her, so it meant a lot for me.
What'd you say to your folks?
I didn't say anything. I was just smiling, man. I was laughing. I was smiling. I was happy. We all looked at each other for like 5 minutes and was laughing.
State of shock.
Yeah, it was state of shock. It was. It really was. It really was. And at that point, I didn't care what round I got drafted. It really didn't matter.
Yeah.
All the stuff I was worrying about.
You're one of the chosen few.
Right? Yeah. I'm very blessed just to have the opportunity just to play and get drafted. So.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so here's another question that just came in. What's the biggest difference you saw from the professional ranks and the college ranks?
It's a profession at that point. It's
So what's that mean?
Meaning, I had older guys tell me, but I didn't really understand. Unfortunately, it's more than football. There's a business side of it that unfortunately a lot of people don't tell rookies about, or they do, they don't explain it the right way.
Okay, so how would you explain it? Because you had your chance. All right, You're talking to that rookie. I'm that rookie. What exactly did you say? What did you say to that rookie now that you weren't a rookie?
I would say playing.
Keep it real.
I believe I did. Playing in the NFL is a small window in your life where you want to do everything you can to maximize the opportunity. Control what you can control, because there's a business side of it that you can't control. And understand, as much as you may love the game, understand your role within the game. And to be put blunt, you are a piece of a machine called the NFL. And once your piece has worn out and there is no need for you, you will be replaced. And it's not a bad or a good thing. It's just how the machine operates.
How it is. Right.
That's how it is. You have to understand that and take advantage of it in any way, through connections, through the people you meet, through maximizing everything you can. Just take advantage of it, because it's a great opportunity to set yourself up for the rest of your life. And, of course, with all that said, have fun. You have to enjoy it, because if not, the business side will take you off course if you let it.
It'll eat you alive, right?
Yes, sir. It can.
Yeah. Okay. So segueing, that's a good segue here. With the last question here, what exactly? Okay, so you were injured, and this is my question, which I know. What? Okay, now the injury occurred, and you were not going to play anymore.
Hmm.
What exactly goes through your head then, and what was your strategy at that point?
Hmm.
And what was it like? I mean, depression, um, all the emotions. I talked to many athletes. They all experience like what they call the first death before your actual death. Um, what was it like for you?
For me, it really sunk in once I was home sitting in the living room. I stayed in Detroit for a little while after getting hurt, and you run around seeing a bunch of doctors and going through that whole process of however it works out. But once I was back home in Virginia Beach, sitting in the living room, and the NFL season started, and I was watching I forgot what game I was watching some game, and I was sitting in the living room, and I'm like, wow, I'm really not there anymore. I'm here on the couch watching the game when I should be in the game. And it hit me, and I wouldn't say depression, but it was a sense of that chapter ending. It was a sense of it's over. Like, this is what I've heard guys talk about. This is this is what I've heard other people go through. Now I'm actually there. So I was definitely sad. I was disappointed. There's that part of you that say I still go out there and play, hurt or not, and you kind of always have that desire to do it. But it was a sad moment, but I'm very thankful it didn't last long, because I know some guys who, unfortunately, however it happened, who played the NFL and didn't. The game itself ruined their love for football, and that's the one thing I did not want to happen. I did, because I love the game of football, and I didn't want my situation, good or bad, whatever happened, to affect my love for the game. And I've seen guys who love the game, but because of their situations, ended up hating it. Can't even watch it to this day on TV. Don't even want to be a part of it.
Right.
So I experienced sadness, but I didn't stay there very long. Again, there's my mom. There's my wife now, then fiance. Very fortunate to have supportive people in my corner who kept things relevant for me, kept me grounded. And more than anything, they let me understand that football didn't define me. Whatever my stature, whatever it was, didn't define me. I am my own person, and football is just one part, one chapter of my life. And I knew that I had a whole other life to live outside of football. So it was that whole transition, and then along with being injured and rehab, and that's a whole physical aspect of it too.
Right.
So yeah, it's just all of it together.
There's something about pain that people forget.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you get through this mental pain. Now you're on, and you're like, okay, what next? The beyond.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one, what made you move and get into action on that? And two, how you feel about it now, or where you are? Those are the questions.
Even before I stopped playing, I knew I had an entrepreneurial spirit. I was always one of those guys. I knew before I stopped playing, before I even got hurt, I wanted to do some things outside of football, outside of the quote unquote corporate world. So I knew even before I was injured. I believe me, you have discussed it offline before. I was into real estate in certain aspects. So after I was home, I was injured. I was probably down for like 5 or 6 months, whatever, mentally down, just not physically feeling up to moving around. But as soon as I got myself together, I was running, man. I was like, if I want to do something, I need to do it now instead of sitting around, feeling sorry for myself. So I pursued real estate. I started a property management company. Didn't know what I was doing, but I just knew I just had to. I'm the type of person, I just go out there and just do it. I started that. It was a natural transition for me. I had a personal training company. I went out and got certified as a personal trainer. Again, it was just, that part was natural for me. I said, well, I know football, I know athletes. Why not train them? I did that. I coached at my local high school, which was a great experience because it helped fill that void I had for football. It helped fill that space that was kind of missing because I wasn't playing it. So it allowed me to be around athletes. It allowed me to be around the game, which was therapeutic for me, and I didn't even realize it at that time. So I was very thankful for that. but all those things just kind of working together over, I say about a 2.5 year period, just doing different things, keeping myself busy, trying to find out what my purpose was, I guess, outside of football. Because I talked to a lot of other guys, and I found myself going through that stage where you're trying to fill that football void with other things. Thank God I didn't fill it with drugs and alcohol and other bad behaviors, but I just tried to find something I was passionate about, or just as passionate as football. And I'll sit here and tell you that hasn't happened yet, because I don't think anything can replace the love of football. But I found things that I was passionate about.
Yeah, that's keeping it real. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. And the cyber to you is a stepping stone.
Very much so, very much. And I may have shared this story with you also. From Virginia Beach, after getting married, I moved to Northern Virginia, which is where my wife is from. Then I was still in that phase again. Like, what am I doing? I was still transitioning. You know, I had my businesses in Virginia Beach, but I kind of had to shift gears a little bit once I moved to Northern Virginia. So I started just doing a couple of different random things. I was still training. I was still doing property management and so forth and so forth. But I wasn't fulfilled enough. I was still chasing that, something to fill that void for me. And I'm very fortunate. I had a couple of close friends who are in the cybersecurity field, and they saw what I was doing. They saw I was trying to find out different things. So they suggested, why not cybersecurity? I took a couple of free online classes, and I really enjoyed it. I was actually surprised how much I enjoyed it. And, I was always information technology inclined. I was always fascinated with computers and technology, so that definitely helped fuel it. But then I just kind of rolled. I went out and got a certification for cybersecurity, and as you mentioned, enrolled into my cybersecurity program for my master's. And fortunate enough, I came on to the company that you're with. They gave me an opportunity, and I've just been running with it ever since. I know the one thing I've learned: if you're going to do something, do it all the way. I knew if I'm going to commit to this field or anything else, football or whatever it was, I wasn't going to do it halfway. If I'm going to go out and make myself credible and just put the work in. Bottom line.
Excellent. That's a great answer. Great time. And for those of you parents and kids out there, Jonathan and I talk, we're going to, you guys will get an opportunity to train with the big man, and he'll give you some tips later on once we all get together this fall and winter, where he'll do some evaluations, part of E.Dine, and see, help some of you big guys out. On the lineman side, he's going to specialize in linemen with us.
Yes, sir.
So, but we've had a great hour here, and we could go on and on. And,
yes.
This is the first of many for you out there, and thanks for your questions. John, thank you for your time on a very busy schedule.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate you having me.
All right. And on that note, we're going to tune out, and we thank you, listeners, for being on, and John, giving your time. Once again, we'll be tuning out with E.Dine. Take care now. Good night.